Hi, I'm Paul Offord, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on the Microblog project and a feature that I've just added, which will be in version 0.18.0. So it's the version that's actually in my repository at the moment. One of the things that struck me was I was thinking about a country like Haiti, where there's obviously all sorts of challenges there. And maybe particularly at the time of the, the disaster that they had, there was probably no internet. But of course, if you're serving up information on a microblog to people there, you could be doing it from the US or from one of the South America countries. And they possibly do still have internet. And then I was thinking about, somebody had made a comment about, how difficult it is to generate the content, etc. And I was thinking, if I was running a station, say on 40 meters, another station on 20 meters, maybe even a VHF station, and maybe not VHF all the way from the US to Haiti, that would probably be a bit too much. But, if I'm running at different frequencies, I'm going to have to maintain the directories across, say, servers that I'm running, and then we've got another group of people who are running the same servers, want to deliver up the same content. So why not have it all stored in a central store and get the information from there? So I started to mess around with creating blog contents in a website that I have. It's got nothing to do with radio, actually. It's to do with car racing, but we don't need to worry about that. Basically, it's a place just to put the information. And so what I eventually did was develop this code that works in this way. So you can see in the slide at the moment, we have a post directory on a microblog server. It's got 8 entries plus the weather one. I'm not touching the weather with this solution. Okay, so this is just for the blog posts. And let's imagine that 2 more blog posts have been created, and we've put them into a central store. And the central store is just an area on a website. So then what I did was I added code to the microblog server, and that code is triggered by the expiration of the MB announcement timer. So the one that announces, here's a blog, here's the latest post ID, here's the latest post date, that timer. So that fires, and then what happens is that the microblog server goes to the website and gets this file called post.list, which has got a list of all the posts on the blogs within that blog, and all of the posts that are available on that server. That gets returned back to the microblog server. It does a comparison with its own content in its own post directory and finds that, I've got everything up to number 8, but I haven't got 9 and 10. And so then goes on and does a get for 9 and a get for 10, and then puts those into the post directory. And now that's been updated. And then the MB announcement is sent out with the new situation, which is I've got everything up to number 10. So that's what I've done. I've added that code, and I'll just quickly show you how it's set up. Sorry, just get around to where I've put the code. The first thing I should say is the README file in the distribution of the software has been updated. So you now find there's a section called Post File Store. And if you look in there, it's got details of how this works in just the way I've just described. The relevant settings are in server.settings, and you'll have this posts URL root setting. You can set that wherever you like. If you want to just mess around with this, you can set it to my my website, which has got a few posts in it, and I'll try and add occasional posts in there to give it a more of a dynamic feel. It starts off as a route. You have a route to the store, and then within that store you'll have a directory which has got the content for a specific blog. So if I just drop into my file manager, actually on my web server, you can see that I need to go up one level. You can see that I've got within the root, which is this one here, Microblogs posts, I have a directory called M0PXO, which is my call ID, but also the name of my blog. And then within that, I've got all the blog entries. Now, in the design of this, I tried to find a way of enumerating this directory on the web server. And without me writing some code on the web server, I can't seem to find a way of doing it. And if you're sitting there knowing how to do that, then please do let me know, because that would avoid us having to have this post list file. But if I just double click on that, which will download it, and I'm going to open it. Let's open it in Notepad++. So as you can see, there's one line for every entry in the blog. Now, one thing, the current weather one has to be there, although it's not used. It's just to maintain the numbering system. But yeah, there's no mechanism to update the weather. It will only update the blogs. And as you can see, once it's determined which ones it needs to get, then it does the get for the ones that are missing. If you don't code the URL, so you leave it blank, just as I had there, this whole mechanism is ignored, and it will just be driven off of you manually putting entries into the post directory. If the web server is down, it's ignored. If the URL is wrong, it's ignored. The only thing is that if the URL is wrong, and I should be able to show you this actually, if I put that in there, for example, let's comment out this, and if I now run the server, you can see that it says it's unable to get that, but it still works, it still carries on working. So you'll need to watch out for error messages in there when you first set it up to make sure you've got it set up correctly. Similarly, if I know you probably start yours from the command line, I'm just starting it from my IDE, but if I actually specify an incorrect URL, again, it just says it was unable to get it. Same thing. So you can see there how this works and how it's fairly oblivious to issues. So you need to make sure that you check for those errors in your console log. Okay, time for a demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my posts directory, and the first thing I'm going to do is actually delete everything out of it. So let's delete all of those, and also I've removed post number 11 from my website. So now let's start the server and see what happens. So as you can see, it's loaded all of the blogs from the blog store, all the posts from the blog store, and now we're sent out an announcement to say we've got everything up to number 10. Now I've reduced the announcement timer to every 5 minutes, so what I'm going to do now is add another post into here. So let's, what do we need to do here? We need to upload. I need to go to my downloads directory, and so I've got a new post list here which has got the additional post in it, number 11, and also I've got post number 11 here. So if I grab these two files and upload them, Okay. Now you can see I've got number 11 in the file, and view. Okay, and now you can see I've got number 11 listed in the post list file. Okay, so now what we'll need to do is wait for the timer to go for the repeat announcement, and let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see it's added the new post. Now, actually looking at this, I don't like this wording. I realise this is a bit wordy, and talks about blog store, which is more the sort of upstream store rather than your local post directory, but I'll probably change the wording of this later. One thing I should tell you, that I realised, was if you're going to use my store, as I said to you before, you can obviously just uncomment this line here and comment out this one. But what you must also do, because it's going to, the blog name will default to your station ID, you will need to put in M0PXO into there. Okay, so you'll need to add that. Sorry, that should be as a string. So it'll need to be like that. You'll need to add that into there so that it correctly addresses the blog on the central server. Okay, I think I've twittered on enough about it. Please feel free to use the URL to my store or create your own store and point the URL at that, whichever you want. Okay, I hope you found that useful, and as always, please give me your feedback.